What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason and Joe here, coming to you with a review today of the brand new Billie Eilish record called Hit Me Hard and Soft. This is her third LP, once again produced by brother Finneas. I've kind of been a champion of Billie, even though I haven't fully loved a record yet. So I've been waiting on the one that kind of fully delivers on what I think she's capable of. But I'll wait a minute before I reveal whether or not I think this is it. How are you feeling about this record?
Well, I'm not a big Billie Eilish fan. I think I've mentioned that before. I think we reviewed the last album, right? That was on this channel.
I think so.
And I like her. I've just never really dug Phineas's production. I always thought Bad Guy was like Bizarro Barbie Girl, just kind of a novelty. No, nothing too special. Happier Than Ever had moments, but I just felt like she wasn't letting loose enough. And I thought the production kind of boxed her in too much. So I wasn't really excited for this one, but I do think it's my favorite of hers. I think it's her best. And I think it shows off just more of her than and anything previous. I think it just lets her be her. I think there's some misses. It's not perfect. Lunch, I think, is a little old hat at this point. It's sort of, it's one of these sapphic sort of like love sex songs, which is fine. Like she's totally out there now, and that's good. But it reminds me a lot of like Chapel Rowan and Snail Mail and Miami by Carolyn Rose. Just sort of like it's almost like a cliche type of song at this point. But she's happy, so that's fine. More power to her. I just find it a little sort of like, okay, we've been here before, we've done this. Other than maybe taking a little too much Olivia Rodrigo, it's got a lot of that like teenage torch song, driver's license kind of balladry, which is fine, but it's not the most interesting type of music to me, a 38-year-old man. But I like the production a lot. I think Phineas does a lot better job here. Chihiro, which is named after a character in Spirited Away. It's a nice little callback. Got some cool like cascading synths. I like the way Billy's vocals are kind of prominent and they kind of get like buried under all these synths, like she's falling away from the listener. I like the bass work on this album. It's sad but dancey, and I think that kind of fits her mood. Birds of a Feather, it feels very like indie pop to me. It's got some short like clip vocals, sparse instrumentation, builds into these big choruses. And I mean, it's nothing that we haven't really heard before, but I just think she's doing it really well. Wildflower, she gets a nice soulful vocal delivery. The Greatest has a cool build to it. Another one. A lot of these songs either build into something big or start big and then kind of fall away, which is interesting. The variation there is good. And I think her vocals are more powerful than I've heard from her before. Not so much of the whispery stuff, which I never cared for. Like when she wants to be like a belter, a big balladeer, she comes through with that. I even like the L'Amour de ma vie, the first part, which is real jazzy lounge tune, and then it turns into an auto-tuned pop club banger. But I don't know. I think it works. I just find these songs very compelling, sung well, produced well, played well, and I think it just broadens everything that she's done and can do, gets her out of the box, like I was saying. She's doing more things, and it's not. I don't know. It doesn't have the one noteness that Happier Than Ever did, or sort of I don't know. I guess I should have gone back and listened to the first album again. But there's nothing like kind of novelty-ish like Bad Guy here. Like it's all like good, fully formed songs. And I dig it. I dig her vocals. She's can be light and jazzy. She can kind of be indie rock, indie pop. She can be a big balladeer. I get like a little Olivia, a little Wise Blood, a little Snail Mail. a whole bunch of different styles, and I think she combines them rather well. So I'm gonna go 4 stars for this. I think it's her finest work.
All right. So, yeah, like I said at the top of the video, I like Billie Eilish. I like her personality. I like her in interviews. I like her creativity and the general kind of direction that she's been going in with her music. I think she's a great and very underrated vocalist. And I think a lot of the discussion about her as a singer has focused on the fact that she whispers a lot, but I've always seen it that when she wants to, she can sing as good as almost anyone. But at the same time, I haven't loved her records. And somewhat understandably, like you said, they're not really made for us now middle-aged guys. But I've always been intrigued by them. I really think there's a lot of talent there. So I was excited to listen to this one. I think it starts really strong with Skinny, which is kind of like a jazzy tune, some finger picking guitar type of stuff. Reminds me a little bit of the first part of her song, My Future. I really dig the reflective lyrics on it. I think there's some nice writing on it, and some nice moments vocally where she like comes out of the whisper and does some like really tasty licks that she throws in. Then at the end of the song, you get some strings that segue into the next track, Lunch, which lyrically, like you said, maybe it's something we've heard before. It's been done. It's all sort of stemming from JoJo Siwa inventing gay pop. I don't know if you saw that the other week. She said she invented a new genre, but I think it's very infectious. It's catchy. It's kind of reminds me. It's got like a little bit of a disco groove, which kind of to me is pulling from the recent success of like Dua Lipa and Lizzo. Chihiro comes with a totally different vibe than the first two songs. Like the first three songs are all so different from one another. That one has like this alternative R&B type of vibe to it. It's really atmospheric, got some cool bass on it. Probably for me, Finneas's finest moment on the record on that track. I think the production's pretty cool. Birds of a Feather, I think, is an excellent pop song. Features Billie more in full voice, sounding great, kind of doing a bit of belting, like you said. And I think it's she's like letting it fly. I actually hear a bit of Ariana Grande on this track. It reminds me of one of the tracks on the new Ariana record. I forget what it's called. Wildflower, I think, is another really good song, really good acoustic ballad, nice dramatic build-up. Full band comes in at the end, sounds great. I gotta say though, this record is maybe for me the most lopsided record I've heard in so long. I think side one is so good. The first 5 songs, I was heading towards a 4.5, I'll be honest. I thought it was finally delivering and almost like exactly right down the middle. I think the second half feels so much like Finneas taking the reins and just kind of becoming more heavy-handed with every track and kind of becoming the problem that you talked about on the first 2 records where he's kind of like boxing her in or just like not serving the songs in the best way. I also think the songwriting in the second half of the record just isn't as strong, where there's so much production and like stuff happening that the songs don't really even get a chance to like know what they are almost. So, yeah, the greatest track 6 is just okay. To me, not the most interesting production. The melodies feel really familiar. They feel almost like recycled from her first couple of records. It just feels like to Billie Eilish for its own good. There's some good singing on it, especially in the back half when things kind of build up, but it's just really predictable, I think. L'amour de ma vie, maybe the best song of the second half, at least the first half of it, because I think it starts great. It's, really got a really classic sounding melody, kind of jazzy. First 3 minutes, 30 seconds or so, I think is great. Then it shifts into that club thing that you're talking about, 4 on the floor beat, auto-tune vocals. And I don't mind it entirely, but it feels so disconnected from the first half, and it doesn't like segue cleanly. It's just basically a different song. So I think the way that the two halves work together is a little awkward. The Diner doesn't do a ton for me, maybe my least favorite song on the record. Just feels like When We All Fall Asleep production without much of a song attached to it. Almost feels like filler. Bittersweet is a suite of different musical ideas, all kind of like loosely attached to each other. And again, I just think the songs within those pieces are just okay at best. The closing track, Blue, I think is okay. It's a little more successful at doing that kind of shifting and metamorphosizing. So it's okay, but again, I just think too much Finneas. And I don't think Finneas is a bad producer, and I think he's perfectly capable, and he's great on the first half of the record. But I do think I said it on our last review too. I just want her to make a record without him. That is my greatest hope for Billie Eilish, that she can break away from Finneas, because as talented as he is and as good as of a producer as he is, I think the I don't know. We've heard it. I think the working relationship is kind of at a little bit of a I don't want to say dead end, because there's good music here. Um, but I want to hear something different. I want to hear her go in a totally other direction. I think that's what she needs. So like I said, I was heading towards a 4.5. I'm like right on the fence between 4 and 3.5, and I think I'm just at a high 3.5. I want to give it a 4. I really do, but I maybe the back half will grow on me, but yeah. I don't know. There's like it's a little overly ambitious almost, or something, where it's with all the changing and like different
The the
parts.
the last three songs are very odd. Like this, the third time I listened through the album, and maybe it was because I didn't finish the whole album the first time or the second time or whatever it was. So I started back at the beginning where it's strongest. And the last time I listened to it, I really noticed like that those last three songs, like there's not a lot going on. Like they're very sort of, I don't know, ethereal in a way that like they don't have, like you almost forget they exist. Um, which is a shame because it does really start really strong, like you said, and it could have used something at the end there. Like I thought the last track would maybe have like some kind of like big climactic ending or something, and it starts off strong and then it kind of just fades away, and it's like 3 minutes of just sort of like where are we going with this? And it doesn't do anything. So definitely could have used a stronger finish to that, but I still like it enough to give it a 4, a light 4 stars.
Yeah, I'm at a very high 3.5. Um, yeah, those last songs, it's like they're ethereal and kind of meandering, and almost you almost don't even notice Billie Eilish on them. They really feel like Finneas tracks that she just happens to be kind of singing on. So, um, yeah, a tale of two halves for me, for sure. All right, well, let us know what you think of this new record. Leave your comments below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.